Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 22nd World Tournament in DBZ Dokkan Metal and basically how you can beat this stage. Now, the 22nd World Tournament has 4 phases. We have Man Wolf, Chiaotzu, Pemput, and Tien. So, 4 phases. I think moderately more difficult than the previous tournament, the 21st one in the DB Saga Edition Red Zone, mainly because I think some of the bosses have a little bit more health, they're a little bit tankier, and I think this causes some issues. So obviously, it can cause you some problems when you face tankier units. Now, Manwolf, 80 million health, 640k normals, 1.6 million super. He can be sealed, but he's immune to stunning, defense down, attack down, pretty straightforward. A nice opening stage, not too tough by today's standards. Fairly decent stage where you can kind of build up a couple units, really get going and kind of do your thing. Then it goes into Chiaotzu. Chiaotzu has 100 million health, 2.3 mil super, 800k normal. Immune to sealing, immune to stunning, immune to attack and defense down. Probably the most frustrating stage. He locks characters in place, so you can't really move them around. It's one of the reasons why I went with the Planetary Destruction team. We'll talk about that just now. But yeah, he stops you from moving your characters. This can be obviously quite frustrating. And so basically what I would say is try to bring units that aren't slot specific. So try to avoid units that only thrive in slot 1 or slot 2 or slot 3. Bring quite a flexible team where you have units that you can rely on in an emergency to tank potentially supers or at least dodge them or reduce the damage significantly. Then we have Pemput, 2.4 million super, raises his defense quite a lot on his super. Very tanky, surprisingly. 800k defense. That doubles with his super attack, making him quite tanky, especially when you put in the damage reduction. 1.6 million, 900k attack, 2.4 million super. His big thing is the 80,000 damage per strength key sphere. It's a lot of damage, 2 or 3 strength key spheres is quite a lot to deal with. And then when you factor in that he also lowers your key, he's quite frustrating. Him and Chiaotzu honestly felt harder than the Tien stage. The mechanics they present are quite annoying. Pemput, the self-damage is very irritating to deal with. The enemy key lower is also very irritating to deal with. It's why I also brought Planetary Destruction, because it's quite flooded with supports and key generation for themselves. Orb changing as well. And yeah, it's just basically a pretty tough customer to negotiate, but not impossible. Like, the health is not too high, the attack damage is not too high, so irritating but definitely possible to handle. Then we have Tien, 200 million health, 1.1 million normals, 3.3 million super. Very, very, very intense. He does have nullification super attack, sealing, immunity being stunned, immunity to attack and defense down. His big thing is he disables evasion and attacks are guaranteed to hit. And he has 11 million defense. So to defeat him, you have to crit. That's the easiest way to beat him. You have to crit. The crits will bypass the defense, giving you a lot of core damage against him, which will make your life a lot easier. So crits, 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 very, very important. And almost mandatory, actually, towards like getting, I would say, involved. Like, I would say getting, through the stage, you need those crits. A way to just remove that defense, give yourself an incredibly good foundation, and just basically give you a really good kind of setup to win. The reason I went for Planetary Destruction / Uncontrollable Power / Burly Team / whatever you want to call it is 3 main reasons. So firstly, like I mentioned for Chiaotzu, it's just a good team where a lot of the units are quite tanky under the right conditions. So all of them are fairly tanky, I would say. Not maybe super ultra mega tanky, like they'll tank everything in the game, but they're all fairly tanky. Like they all got quite strong defense mechanics. Secondly, the healing. So we have revives from both Broly's if need be, and we also actually have a lot of healing. Perfect Cell, lots of healing. Broly himself, healing of normal orbs. You know, so you got a revive, you've got like 2 or 3 healing units. It's a very strong team to help counteract the bombs, which obviously is quite frustrating. And as I mentioned earlier, there's also some built-in supports. So Janemba, Ki from Perfect Cell, Rainbow Orb Generation from Strength Broly. So these type of things tend to help out as well, because it gives you a good foundation in terms of looking at, for example, like setting up your units when they're low on Ki. So I think overall the team was really good for me. Really solid. I was very happy with the team. Very happy with like everything pretty much to do with them. And yeah, I think for me ultimately it was a very good solid setup. Rotations, like I say, Chaozu kind of gives you some issues, so you can survive that. Otherwise, rotations generally were Final Forms Frieza, Perfect Cell, and then obviously a Broly on either side of each other on the other rotation. Floating the Strength Broly, floating the Int Janemba, floating one of the Int Brolys, just keeping up the active skill buff and just, tearing through the fight eventually. So it was all pretty good, fairly nice team build, fairly good performance, I would say personally overall. So I was actually very happy with how everything went down. So yeah, obviously if you need any more help or if you want to ask more information, I can gladly help you. It's no problem. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you did, and as always, take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. So until then, take care, stay safe, and yeah, bye, I guess. Cheers.